For a furniture buyer, a perfect sample means very little if the next 1,000 chairs do not look the same. And with upholstered dining chairs, that consistency starts long before sewing or final upholstery. It starts with one of the most overlooked parts of chair manufacturing, the fabric pattern. At ASKT, we combine experienced pattern making with digital cutting technology to turn an approved sample into a repeatable production standard. The process begins after our designers complete the chair's 3D model and technical drawings. Our experienced pattern makers then review the actual structure of the chair. They need to understand how the fabric will wrap around the foam, where seams should sit, how corners should be formed, and how much allowance is required in each area. Some of our specialists have worked with upholstered chairs for nearly 20 years. That experience is important because upholstery cannot be developed from dimensions alone. The first pattern is then tested on a real chair. Our team cuts the fabric, sews the cover, and upholsters the sample. This is where we can see what a drawing cannot always tell us. Is the fabric too tight? Does a corner create unwanted wrinkles? Is the seam sitting exactly where the designer intended? The pattern is adjusted until the upholstery fits correctly and the final appearance is approved. Only then does it become the pattern for mass production. But we do not want this knowledge to remain only in the hands of one experienced worker. The approved physical patterns are scanned into our digital pattern system. Each piece is converted into production data that can be stored, adjusted, and reproduced. This is an important step for us. Craftsmanship creates the correct pattern. Digitalization turns that pattern into a repeatable standard. The next challenge is fabric utilization. Using digital nesting, we arrange the seat, backrest, and other upholstery pieces across the fabric width as efficiently as possible, while still respecting the required fabric direction and product specification. For one chair, the difference may appear small. Across hundreds or thousands of chairs, however, better nesting can significantly reduce unnecessary fabric waste and make material consumption more predictable. For a furniture buyer, that means better cost control at production scale. Once the layout is confirmed, 4 rows of fabric are spread evenly across the cutting table using our automatic spreading system. The digital pattern data is then transferred directly to the cutting machine. The cutter follows the approved pattern through straight lines, curves, and detailed corners with high precision, producing clean and consistent fabric pieces. Depending on the fabric and the length specification, multiple chair sets can be cut in one production batch. The advantage is not simply speed, it is repeatability, because a more consistent fabric piece leads to more consistent sewing. More consistent sewing creates a cover that fits the foam more accurately, and that helps us control seam positions, corners, tension, and the overall appearance of the finished chair. So when we invest in automated cutting, we are not only improving production efficiency, we are controlling the quality of the final upholstery. This is something I believe matters, especially in furniture sourcing. A supplier should not only be able to make a good sample, they need a system that can reproduce it at scale. At ASKT, craftsmanship helps us find the right solution. Digital manufacturing helps us repeat it. From the first sample to mass production, that is how we turn experience into a production standard.